You're listening to the Rogers Sporting Goods Podcast. This is Aaron Jones.
This is Chandler Smith, and I hate long intros, so let's get into it.
But you're going to North Dakota.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way up north.
Although North Dakota, I think this last week was like 100 degrees, so have fun
Yeah,
with that.
I need to check the weather on that because I think it's gonna be cooler up there, and then I'm gonna come back and it's gonna be like the same temperatures here when I get back.
But it just kind of sets the tone. It's like
Dude, seasons are...
we had our Waterfowl Weekend, and it's like, boom, here we go.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of Waterfowl Weekend, who's sunburnt?
it was,
This guy.
Yeah, I'm sunburnt.
you were
No.
outside, like, rocking and rolling. There
Oh.
was so much going on, which it turned out phenomenal. I mean, it was just amazing between vendors and customers, and it was a blast.
The customer turnout was awesome.
It was amazing.
Everything went smooth, too. That's
It
nice.
did.
We only had one vehicle drive over a culvert, so.
And he turned in off the road.
Yep,
Here's
right
an
up.
open spot. Donk.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
Yeah.
it did turn out well. Obviously, we appreciate everybody coming out.
Yeah,
It was
man.
such a good time. There's such a big lead up to it,
It was warm.
and then it happens and it's done. It's
Yeah.
like so quick.
It was so cool to see everybody come out. And,
Yes.
Catch up to, like,
yeah.
with all the, the companies, and you get to talk about stuff and what's been going on, and then you get the waterfowlers customer wise who maybe you haven't seen in a little bit, and then they come in, and it's like, all right.
I'm just impressed that our customers, man, they're just some serious go-getters. Seeing what they're getting in, they're running in there
They
with their
not
squad.
mess
Like,
around.
it could be father, son, and some friends, or this just seems like they go in and they're just all on this hit list. We got to get this year. We got to have this year, and they're just cruising.
You know what I was happy to see? You talk about father son, but the amount of younger kids, or even the 18, 20-year-old, a lot of just showing me that the industry's still going, and there's still a lot of people interested
New waterfowl is jumping in.
in the outdoors, and new waterfowlers and new hunters, and people are getting, because we had a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I say kids, but even young adults that are still getting after it. I had people call me this past week, just praising us on how well we did. Calling my phone, you guys did such.
Yeah,
an
I heard a lot of
amazing
good
job.
feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it did really well. And,
How was the store all the way till noon? Like,
yeah, we went.
I didn't go
from-
inside before noon. I was outside just making sure everything was going.
Of course,
right.
there's a little let up. You were in there
Mm-hmm.
getting some filming on, and that initial surge
Back to ammo.
back to ammo, which we have plenty.
I feel like the
I even
employees should
shouted
be
out some.
I feel like the employees should be like in the door with like the blockers, like in football practice, as the customers run in.
as they run through. But by 9:30, then it's full. The store is, and from then until 2:30,
You guys had a
the
line.
line was full, and it was at 2:30. Shannon, got on the radio. All right, there was a break. I think it was, you kind of do that. Everybody does lunch. They go outside because we had the free concert and all the stuff for
All the
kids
food
and
trucks that
everybody.
were so good.
What's real nice too is you get to see everybody's product and out there in the tanks, and you get to see it visually, and so everybody does that, and then you get a little bit more people to finish out the day after they take a break. So, but all in all, it was phenomenal. And Friday was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Get the people come in during the week, so it was a good lead.
I like the Friday customer. He's like, I got to get here today so I don't have to fight the crowd tomorrow. Now, saying about we only ran out of one product. Correct.
There was one product that, and that happened because it was this one customer needed a bunch of, that was his go-to. But other than that,
So, I mean,
I didn't run out. I had
so
plenty.
I mean, we try really hard every year to make sure that we have all the inventory for everybody. So people don't have to worry about Saturday at 4 p.m. They're not going to be able to get what they want. We had,
Yes.
majority. And we should have had that one product. We had it at the warehouse. We just couldn't get it.
We just, yep.
Didn't have enough time.
It just happened. We just couldn't get it there. And I think that's what surprises a lot of people too, because you also get new customers to the store, and it's their first Waterfowl Weekend, and that's what's nice as well about Rogers Sporting Goods is walking in, especially like decoys. When you walk back there and you're like, if I need 20 boxes of something,
I can get it.
I can get 20. I mean, you bring a trailer, we'll load you up. Like it's insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, it went really well.
Yeah,
So-
we had awesome food trucks outside. The food was good.
Yep.
And then we had live bands. We had some really, really good bands out there starting around
Yeah.
noon. I think we started at like noon 15, 12:15 or something.
Right.
And then the beer garden was successful
Yep.
this year.
Turned out really well.
And everybody behaved, which was
Yeah, we didn't have any. I didn't see any issues
Mm-mm.
at all.
Yeah, so that was
Inside the
good.
store, out, no problems.
everybody was having a great time.
Everybody it's hunting. We're all cool.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hanging out, having a parking lot party.
yeah. And then we turn around and it's, you know,
Moment, Waterfowl
we're just-
Weekend's done. We're
it's
like,
like
who's going hunting what weekend and
Right.
where we're going, and
I come in Tuesday and you're taking an assessment of the damage and seeing what happened. And it's like, we got another event coming.
Oh, yeah.
Whitetail
and,
Weekend.
and all these seasons are starting. So,
as this podcast comes out, we have Whitetail Weekend this Saturday.
Yeah. Days away.
Yeah,
August 20th, that's the culmination
yeah.
of the big day is the 20th, that Saturday. And it'll be an all-day thing, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything whitetail.
Free deer scoring, free antler scoring.
Yeah, that's really going to be cool. And we've got
It was a great turnout years ago when we did it the first time.
people loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in a mount, you can bring in sheds, you can bring in
Yeah.
a dead head, you can bring in whatever.
Right.
If you found it, shot it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll score it.
For free.
And if you do, and maybe you don't know the process of getting it into the book, but let's just say you bring in a mount and it makes Pope and Young, they will help you get it sent off and get your name in the book.
Yeah.
If you would like. So
Yes.
we've got a team of 5 guys coming that are all official B&C and Pope and Young scores.
Awesome.
And
You said something about a mule deer too?
mule deer's, it's the same scoring. And so don't be afraid if, whitetail, mule deer, bring them both.
But
Bring them up. And,
No
and
moose.
Get them. Yeah.
bring your
People come walking up with their
front mount.
60-inch moose.
Well,
And they're just
speaking of moose, there's going to be a deer called Moose there.
Yeah.
like, ooh.
You should.
I remember he called
He
it
did that on
moose.
purpose.
Yes.
I did. See that segue?
Because
That's
it's
a nice
such a great
transition.
story when he tells it.
Yeah.
Like it's just hilarious.
Yes.
So Dustin Huff will be there, which is the new #1 typical buck
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
And if
number
you-
2 in the world.
If you didn't listen to last week's podcast, it was with Dustin, so he tells the
Yeah.
whole story of moose.
It's a great story.
And it's so cool to listen to it because he's just like all of us. I mean, he went out there
Yeah.
in a crossbow, went to a place he'd never been before, and he ended up shooting that.
He
He's
thought it
never
was a-
seen it before.
Yeah.
And he thought it was a moose. It's like, what's a moose doing? in
Super cool
Indiana?
dude, too, because he's not like big headed. He's still humble, just like us, just like everybody else. He's not a guy that he's hammering giant deer every year in these super secluded places. Like,
Just passionate about deer hunting, and
Yeah.
he was setting
Right.
out on the right day, looking in the right sunset,
Mm-hmm.
and when we say it's a big deer, it's a big deer. It's 211 inches and 4/8.
Yeah.
Typical.
Typical.
Yeah.
It's massive.
It's-
So, and it'll be there.
Yeah.
He'll have the mount there. He'll
Mm-hmm.
be there. He also is a singer, songwriter, country music, just a good, down to earth
Yeah.
dude. He's gonna play some tunes for
Yeah, he's
us,
going to play
which
a
will
little
be
bit of
nice.
solo guitar, songs going on.
Yes.
And we feed you that day. We got a food truck there as an option if you're hungry.
Smash
You can-
burgers.
Yes. Always food. We always like food, so
Why
we're always
not?
going to have food.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And of course, sales. We wouldn't
yeah.
do nothing without.
No, we wouldn't.
And
the-
giveaways.
And yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
shoot.
good call.
I
Our
don't even know the
list,
dollar amount.
our list is growing
I need Pat to make an Excel
every
sheet.
day. Like we've got so many giveaways. So there's going to be more than one winner. It's not like, oh shoot, one winner. What are my chances? But there's a lot of stuff to give away.
There is.
So let's introduce everybody real quick. We've
Yeah.
kind of jumped in here, and I'm Chandler Smith.
Yep.
I worked at Rogers for 10, 11 years, do a lot of the marketing stuff.
Right. Patrick, and I work at the store location in Liberty, and I'm the hunting waterfowl manager. I'll hit 10 years November, so
Yeah, he's like a year
I'm
behind
hitting
me.
my decade mark.
I'm Double Aaron. I do all the social media and all the podcast videos, all that fun stuff, a little bit of marketing. And then we've got another guest with us today.
I'm Josh from the YouTube channel Outdoor Limits.
Yep.
We drag him in.
You
make
were
him
on
talk.
about you were on
You're the
about a month
waterfowl.
ago.
Yeah.
He's just not too far. We drag him up when we need to talk.
Yeah. Especially we're going to get into some topics he'll have some insight on.
Yeah, we get to look at some new
Today,
new
so-
stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
But-
sure.
Yeah, Whitetail Weekend, August 20th.
This weekend.
This weekend,
Yep.
bring your deer.
The ad will be that
Tuesday.
I mean, we'll have it'll come out that week of, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll be ready for you.
Yeah. Tree stands and all the good
Tree
stuff.
stands and hang-ons, and we've got all the scent stuff, and head down to the archery department, and then go stop by with Sonya and
Clothing.
get loaded up on your boots and clothing.
Oh,
and
yeah. We got some really
all
nice
sorts of.
pull-on rubber boots.
Are there any deals for people who can't make it into the store? People buy stuff
There
online?
will, there will be. There'll be
There'll
be
yeah. We'll do
some
we'll
online
do.
stuff.
A lot of stuff will be, that you can find online too.
The only thing is like we can't really ship ladder stands.
Yeah.
So
And we've
Big
tried
stuff right
we've
now,
tried to
but-
ship ladder stands, and UPS just loses the bolts on every ladder stand we
Well,
ship.
because
Get a
the
box
boxes are heavy and they drop them and destroy them.
Right.
And
You
then
know,
always like the bag of bolts falls out
For
somewhere.
some reason, the bag of bolts sits in the corner of the box.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that never shows
They would just
up,
zip tie
but-
it to the platform. You'd be fine.
Yeah, but there'll be plenty of stuff online and in store. There'll be, so it'll be a great event. So make sure you come up, and we'll all be there hanging around.
Yeah, and you would say that your inventory stock for whitetail is really good
Yes,
right now.
we will be ready.
Yeah.
So I'm not just gonna have two of something on hand. I mean, it's, if you need to gear up, or if you need to buy bulk, or you've got a new property, that you're gonna, I got a new farm, I need 10 new stands.
We got them.
I'll get you set up.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody knows you need a hang stand September 14th, right?
yeah.
Hey, you can't diss that too much. There's a lot of times, I say a lot of times, two or three times where I've hung a stand and then either that day or the next day shot a deer. So
Yeah. it's
I've
true.
done that.
Dustin just went and put a climber in one tree and shot the
exactly.
Yeah.
big old moose.
So yeah,
Deer.
I mean,
I hung a road stand on lunch, hunted it that evening, and arrowed a buck. So
exactly. It's not out of the
it's
question.
just, but all about scouting too, and just a lot of it can be snowing, but
Yeah, seasons are like
and that's
fast approaching.
Right, meow.
yes.
I like you
we've
like
got
that phrase, fast approaching.
fast approaching. Exactly. Don't miss out.
Dove and early goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So early goose, Josh, he's gonna take a trip up here. Where are you going?
We're gonna go to North Dakota and try to chase down some early season hawkers.
When does it open up there?
It opens here. Let me pull up my calendar. On Monday, so the 15th,
Okay.
Wow.
August 15th.
August 15th.
To think that it started.
Yeah.
Goose. Early season goose.
It'll be interesting.
They
I've
got
never.
mosquitoes up there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
they do.
Where
It's been a
don't they
wet-
have mosquitoes?
it's been a wet year too, so I've heard that they're like pterodactyl mosquitoes.
Yeah. Do some permethrin and bring the bug spray.
I got my bag packed up. I think it was like Monday night, and I had to go searching around my house to find my thermocell, and I found it in some old bag that I took training the dog one time and threw it in the corner of the garage. So glad I found that.
Is your for early season goose? So, and you've done a lot of goose hunting, but is your setup and how you do it different than obviously your late season goose hunting
This will be my first time hunting early season
for the
geese.
early season?
Yeah, so normally I don't really get into geese until late November, December. But I've heard that the geese are still in family groups and they kind of try to keep away from each other. And so when you set your decoy spread, you want to kind of put just little family groups out and space them apart.
Pods?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like mom and dad and the
But
goslings.
do you need as many though?
Probably not.
You're probably not putting out these giant.
No,
30 dozen.
we're bringing
That's a small one.
we're bringing 2 bags of final approach silhouettes, so 10 dozen silhouettes, and then just a handful of full bodies
Mm-hmm.
and floaters if we're gonna hunt water.
Yeah.
So it's not a heavy load to carry out there.
Especially with the silhouettes.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to trying the backpack straps on that Final Approach bag with the silhouettes, because I've heard reports that a lot of wheat hasn't been cut, so we might be hunting more water, and so we might have to hike stuff in.
And you put silhouettes around the edge of the water too?
Yeah,
Use a lot of them there.
I've used silhouettes on the edges of ponds, put them on little mud flats if I'm hunting like a lake, and it's pretty shallow water. I'll even put them out into the water. So they're pretty versatile decoys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
And
that bag holds 5 dozen, and then you can go on one person's back. So like 2 people can carry in 10 dozen. That's kind of crazy.
Or one
to think
person
about.
could carry 10 dozen. You just put one on the front and one on the back.
You can
Yeah.
And we do
like a turtle.
and that's the FA 5 dozen pack.
Yeah.
Don't we do a 5 dozen FA silhouettes with that bag all together. So it's a great setup to get, especially if you're wanting to get into goose hunting and you want to get,
Definitely.
decoys. That's a great option.
So you talking to the guys you're going with? Are you going to be doing a lot of calling, or is it like no calling, or like little?
It's just
calling?
very light calling, is what I've heard. So this will be. I can come back and tell you about it. How's that sound?
For sure. Yeah, I wanna hear the story. Is ours in Missouri?
It's like October.
October.
Is it October?
It used to be September, and then they just keep pushing it back.
Okay. But it can be fun though. It's like deer hunting, and you're coming off their summer pattern, and you're like, all right, you go hunt a green field, and figure out their flight pattern, and it can be fun, and it's your first chance to get after some honkers. It's a great.
Oh yeah.
I tried to do it last year. We had some geese nest at my family's property, and I was watching them in like late July, August. I'm like, ooh, they're landing in the pasture. I'm gonna come back in October, but they weren't there, so I just did some dove hunting. But I was ready to give it a go. I had a blind and everything.
Yeah, it is early goose. Obviously, you've got dove September 1st. Archery, obviously, the 15th. But even
Teal are right
before
in there,
that, teal,
Or the 10th or 9th.
mid-September,
Or the
at least
10th.
around here.
When is it in Kansas?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm starting the first Saturday in Nebraska.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Josh brought it. I was annoyed, but Josh brought it up to me. He's like, "Hey, isn't your teal season like September 10th?" I was telling him I'm going to Texas for a softball tournament on like the 9th through the 11th, and so it looks like I'm going to miss opener on the teal, which that seems to be like that's the good time.
Well,
I
if
think.
the public ground up here is flooded, a lot of times they don't get water on the in the public ground areas. But if you hunt like around a lake or reservoir,
right,
depends.
And we've got out west hunting. That's all started. Guys this month will be coming in gearing up for going out there too. So it's everything, doing their mule deer, antelope,
Elk in September.
Elk coming up September. So it's just like 4 or 5 seasons.
Oh yeah, man. When we were jumping out to Colorado for the elk trips we did before COVID, man,
September 1.
We were getting ready in July.
Yeah.
Those are trips definitely.
Yeah, getting your gear list done, getting out and using the pack. Getting used to packing everything down.
Breaking in any boots.
Okay, I'm weighing 40 pounds on the pack or 45 pounds, and then we would be out. We'd go out a couple of times and do some hikes. We tried to find as much elevation as we can in Missouri.
It's all about weight control when you're out there, like what you're packing.
You're figuring out where to put things and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, man, get up there September or right before September 1st. And
guys will bring in I remember when I went on my elk trip, but this giant list, and so you're making a few trips. You just, little by little, you keep marking it down.
Whittle it down.
Yeah. And you guys did a do it yourself when you guys went out there. That'd be a fun.
Man.
I need to do that sometime.
Let's do it.
So looking forward to the September season's opening up. Do you guys have any gear lists since we're talking about it?
We'll go into this. What we were talking about before this was all the early season clothing.
Lightweight stuff, yeah.
That is offered from Rogers is something that we were talking about the versatility. We've been talking about it since turkey season.
Right.
So Rogers has come out with a elite chill series for the tops and then a tough light pant for the bottoms. And these are not cotton. These are polyester pieces that are very, very light.
Great for dove, teal,
Deer,
early goose, early deer. Yeah.
If you're looking at something that you can get above the 70s or into the 80s on your hunting season, this is the piece you want, because the tops are offered in a short sleeve, long sleeve, and then a hoodie with a face mask. And they're offered in Max 7, and we got Bottomland, and we have Obsession and Adapt. So, and all those patterns, the Max 7 I could see for Dove. And if you want the hood or if you don't, if you want the long sleeve or you want the short sleeve, that could be Dove. And then Teal the same way, but at the same time, you could wear that in Obsession or Bottomland in a tree stand. Because September deer hunting you don't want to put anything with weight on as far as in Missouri. It's not cold at all.
No, there's been times where September rolls around and the first week or two of September, the highs are like 82 and you get all wound up thinking, oh man, it's 80, 82, it's 50 something at night. I can't wait for bow season. And then September 15th rolls around and it's 92 again. And you're like,
yeah, that Bottomland hoodie,
the chill hoodie
is on my list to grab. And with the built-in face mask, one less thing I got to worry about. It's all right there. Pop the hood up. Bring the face mask up.
Offer an actual hoodie in some of them too, for if it just gets a little bit of a chill.
Just a little bit of a chill. We have the Toughman Tech hoodie, which has like upper hand warmer pockets, and we got that in some greener patterns like Obsession or Adapt. And then we've had the classic Tech hoodie that has the brown panel on the bottom. We have that in Max 7 and Bottomland. As well, which has like the Bottomland and Max 7 is on the top part of the hoodie. Yeah. But it's just a little bit heavier of a hoodie. It's not a coat or anything.
Perfect for the start of a morning a lot of times during
Josh wore like a Max 7 one a lot last year.
Max 5.
Max 7 wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we've got
but you can buy like one, even in the green stuff, you could buy Obsession or Adapt and it's got a greener look to it, but in September, everything's green.
Still.
Yeah.
And you could buy one piece that could go teal, dove, deer.
Yeah, I really got to get into
save it
November.
for turkey.
Yeah.
Before I start seeing a lot of drop-off in the leaves changing and falling off. I mean, I'm into November, I feel like.
Yeah,
I wear
green.
I wear a lot of stuff with green in it through almost all the way up to Halloween. A lot of times, obviously, you kind of got to base it on what the trees are doing, but you can wear a lot of green through most of October here.
Yep, around here, for sure.
Up north, probably not, but.
No, I'm with you. And it's a great, obviously, we talked about it during turkey too, but it's a great archery, dove, goose.
And then, like Chandler said, again, turkey season.
Yeah, save it for turkey.
And then save it for turkey. Yep.
Really good price points on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It's
comfortable, stretchy.
Yeah, the top is all stretchy. So the pants are stretchy and the tops are stretchy. The tops have UPF 50. They're naturally cooling. They're chemical free of all that stuff. They're just natural pieces. So pretty cool stuff.
Yep. Part of that gear list is all for me, like whitetail, but all my scent control stuff, which we're filling up on. So, whether you're dead win or wildlife research or whichever brand you want to go with.
Yeah. So I mean, we might be excluding Josh here a little bit, but with all the scent stuff for all the years, I mean, what are you guys still doing? We've all three of us, and maybe Josh has done it too. We've tried it all for scent elimination.
Yeah. I think no matter which way you go, just trying to be unbiased, right? But in my opinion, if you were just if someone came in and didn't have a product to choose, I might say, hey, this is what I use. But I think just in general, doing what you can, whether
helps.
You use one company or the other.
Yeah.
Just.
But so are you doing washing, drying,
like to do
showering?
So I will do it all, and some people even do it even more extreme than I do. But obviously, I'll get a good wash in, before the season starts. As soon as it comes out of the dryer, goes into my scent tote.
So you got a plastic tote.
And I leave it there, whether it's a plastic tote
or duffel
or an airtight duffel bag or whatever it may be.
Do you use any ozone or anything?
I don't. I do. I have the Scent Crusher bag, which they've redesigned for this year, so you can set time limits on it. And so that morning, I'll throw it in that duffel bag, or they make a closet or whatever you're choosing, and I'll throw it in there and give it a, while I'm upstairs showering or whatever, I'll give it a 30-minute ozone bath just to make sure I'm good to go. And then they have it for your vehicle too. Yeah. So if you got leftover French fries in there or something, you don't smell like that. But and then when I get out, I'll spray down. Obviously, I'm more concerned with spraying my boots than everything, but
because you did all that
down.
You did all that prep work,
Right, and so I'll use some sort of spray or whatever it is. I like to just do an unscented, regular spray,
not the fresh earth or the.
I switch. Well, I'll tell you what I switch to, but I'll spray down with an unscented before I walk out, and then if I break for lunch, I'll do it again. I might do an ozone bath on my outer layers and then respray for the evening. When it gets to like that late October, and you got more rainfall, and when you walk in to the timber and it's kind of that wet leaf, it's not as much like the dirt smell, like disked up dirt, but that fall smell. I will switch to an autumn. Is a great one. Like Wildlife Research does like an autumn spray, but it's not that dirt smell. And
sweeter.
I think there is. Yeah, I think there's areas to use dirt, but if you're like in the middle of a timber hole and not in the edge of a field, it's kind of an unnatural smell.
Sure. You guys remember those HS wafers, man?
Oh yeah, I still got some.
And we sell a bunch.
You still sell them?
I put one in a tote when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, we always put them in totes.
The problem is that dirt smell got throughout the whole house, and I was in such big trouble when I was younger.
That tote wasn't sealed very well.
It just stunk up the whole house every time I opened it.
There was pine and
they make all sorts of different
dirt.
ones.
Then there was estrus.
Oh yeah,
you can't put those. Don't
put that on your clothes.
Don't put the estrus wafer down in your
tote.
Yeah,
no.
But they even
that goes on a tree
with the ozone technology too, which is really big now. And say you're not, price point wise, if you don't want to go out there and buy a $300 ozone bag, they do make, I think it's from HME, they make the little handheld ozone one that you can drop in your tote and turn it on. I mean, you're under $50.
Yeah.
I think it might be $30.
Go get like a Husky tote or something.
Yeah. And you just, plain old tub or a Husky tote or whatever.
Josh, have you done any of that?
No.
Do the ducks?
Dude, I live in my stink.
Okay.
I'm lucky if my stuff gets washed once a week.
Well, as waterfowlers, you want them mudded up, right? So
yeah.
just dirty.
Yeah.
Right. But I try to practice it. I mean, there's other factors, and some of it's luck too, right? Just being in the right spot. But I would prefer not to smell like Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
I mean,
talking about smells, like towards the end of waterfowl season, like your waterfowl tote and or truck and or whatever starts to smell like a hockey locker room or a football locker room.
The duffel bag is rough.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
because there's no care.
They know
when it comes to that,
and half the time it's getting put away soaking wet, and it just gets a little.
I feel like I do good with washing my base layers because I usually make it back to the house in the base layers, but like these mid-layer hoodies and stuff, they get put like in blind bags and duffel bags.
Roll around in the backseat of the truck.
Yeah, roll around the backseat of the truck.
I can smell it now.
They never make it to the washing machine.
One thing I have, and I talk about taking it to the extreme, like I know some guys that'll do they'll switch to dead downwind, like the deodorant or whatever. There's like a switch over.
Oh, before season.
Before season, they'll switch over to that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you do it.
I do sometimes, just because, like, I've tried it before, like before we headed out west, just for something different. I was like, okay, let me take my regular deodorant, and then I'm going to shower in scent-free soaps and shampoos and see how many showers it takes before I can't smell my scented, Old Spice or Axe or whatever you guys use. And it took about 4 showers with unscented products
So
before
you'll
you
switch
could.
over.
Yeah, so I mean, the guy that he's throwing on body spray and regular deodorant and regular shampoo to just hit it once right before you go out.
Right.
I'm sure it helps a little bit, but the residue of the scented stuff is still there for about 4 showers for me. That's just me personally. Maybe
The one level I'm not to yet, and I wish I was better at, is taking the time, whether it's leaving earlier or whatever, so I don't, like, I wear my clothes, I'm wearing half of them in the truck on the way to the stand, and then I'm ready right there, instead of
I've done the extreme to where
getting to your stand
you
and
pretty
switching.
much drive to the deer's property, and then you get down to your underbritches and get rid of everything you just wore, because you probably stopped at a gas station. You probably ate donuts or something, had a coffee, and you strip down to your underbritches and you put up everything out of the scent safe bag right there in the grass. And sometimes late October or November, it is not very warm when you're doing that.
Is it Sitka that made the launch pad or
Yeah,
the thing that you stood on? And
Well, that's a good idea, because you could do an FA wader bag that has a pad on it, and you can put your
you
deer
could do the
clothes in
same
it.
thing.
Yeah, you can put your deer clothes in that, and you can stand on the
quick
the
detour
pad.
talking about a gas station and donuts. Josh, what's your go-to snacks and or drinks when you stop at a gas station before duck hunting?
Oh, depends on the place I stop at.
Okay.
If I stop at Casey's, I'm getting the breakfast pizza.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
If I stop at Quick Trip, I'm gonna get
Another breakfast
a
pizza.
sausage biscuit.
Okay. And drinks, beverages.
I've stopped buying beverages from gas stations.
Okay.
Yeah. Mountain Ops Ignite.
What's your go-to snacks and or gas station purchases?
Being honest, probably it's very similar. I don't know.
Chandler
if
grabs a basket.
No.
Yes.
I do like the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits and stuff, and a Red Bull would probably be.
Casey's breakfast pizza is hard to beat. There for a while, I was stuck on like an iced honey bun and a coffee,
But I do
and
sometimes.
then something
Yeah.
savory. But
Well, last season I kind of started doing this thing where we wouldn't stop at the gas station in the morning when we were going to our spot, because we always have snacks and stuff. I keep boxes of snacks in the back seat of my truck. Pop-Tarts. And like if you get one of those multi-pack bags of chips, or like I had a box of goldfish, like it's easy if you shop at Costco to be prepared for these situations.
Yes, it is.
And it saves you money.
Yeah, it saves you money. But what we started doing was after the hunt, we'd stop at Casey's and get pizza and a Mountain Dew. You want to talk about refreshment?
Yeah.
All right.
what's your snack of choice, Pat?
So I have to be careful on snacking in the morning.
Yes, understood.
And
Didn't we
eating.
talk about this?
So there's no emergency pit stops.
Yes, I have an issue. So, I will sip on something. Right now, it'd probably be Diet Mountain Dew would be my go-to.
Not coffee, because that jump starts things too.
Right. And snacking, I'll pack a few snacks, maybe some jerky or something in there, but I try to refrain in my morning hunt from eating too much.
Yeah. That's good.
But that's part of the gear list too. Like, what do you put in your pack, right? You got
TP.
your snacks, a
Baby
roll
wipes.
of toilet paper.
Yes, baby wipes. That's
Yes.
very good. That's part of the gear list. I agree.
Yes.
Every pack should have a
It
stash
is. Uh-huh.
rolled up in like some sort of zip top bag to keep it dry.
I've done I like the like cream pies.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I like them soft, and if you're doing late season hunting, whether it's
Oh,
duck or goose or deer hunting, and you go to get it,
That's a
it's
rock
just like
hard
a
hockey puck.
brick. Yeah.
So get this. My buddy Adam figured this out a couple years ago. He stopped at the gas station when we were going hunting, and he bought one of those big Rice Krispie treat bars, the chocolate ones. And we found out that when you're hunting and it's like 30 degrees outside, that thing's rock hard. And so what he started doing was he took the lid off his coffee cup and he dunked his chocolate Rice Krispie into his coffee softened it up. It's
There
so
you
good.
go.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
I
with
also
this.
watched him in a video cooking Pop-Tarts on a stove. Or
Yes.
not a stove.
It was a
or
buddy heater.
A buddy heater.
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts are so
Don't
good.
know.
I love Pop-Tarts.
Here's a
We've done that
good
with
question.
pizza too. You get a whole Casey's pizza in the morning, and then it's cold by the time you get to the blind.
Right.
But if you take the front cage off the buddy heater and you like flip it around, it makes like a little grill.
Yeah.
Not recommended, but I don't know if it's good for you. We'll just leave it at that. But
What's wrong with the little
I don't know.
propane on
I
your
just don't-
pepperoni?
I just don't want anybody burning pizza boxes in the middle of
No.
a teal
You take
box.
your slice out of the
Oh.
box and put it on the grill.
I thought you were putting the pizza box right on top of the burner.
No, that's a fire
Thawing
hazard.
it out. Here's a good question.
Disclaimer.
Whether it's waterfowl or deer hunting, are you a face paint type of guy or mask?
Neither.
Neither.
Either.
He keeps his head down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Neither.
nothing.
Nothing.
Now, there's some people that don't even like to wear ball caps because, it's cold or something. I'm always a fan of a ball cap with a decent sized bill on it because, one, you can kind of keep your head down. It keeps your face in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's cold, I'll wear a ball cap and then throw a stocking cap over it or a hood or something. But I'm more of the keep your face down if you're watching the birds that are seeing you. So,
Yeah, and it's it is different when I'm duck hunting or something. I'll wear a ball cap, just keep my head down. I'm usually, in an A-frame or whatever. We hunt out of a lot of A-frames now, me and Dad. So, you're tucked down in there. Deer hunting, which most of mine comes up in a stand. So if it's cold, I'll do a beanie. I can't have my ears covered at all
right.
because I always want to hear. And
Sure.
so I'll wear the old school HS like net style, almost like a mosquito type netting face mask, and it covers everything up. I don't know why. I've just always done it, and then that way if something's come, I just feel like I'm totally covered. I've
Sure.
tried the face paint, and I get why you do it because you don't have a mask, and some people you don't like a mask, but I got paint everywhere, and so I don't do it.
The thing I don't like about face masks, especially in the late season, is you breathing. And if you cover your nose and your mouth and you're at any point breathing hard or a lot, they just get soaking wet and then ice cold.
Mm-hmm. So here's a question from somebody who's done very minimal amounts of deer hunting. If you're in a tree, why do you need to put a face mask on or face paint?
They always look at me or in my direction. So
Deer do look up. A lot of people say they don't or they didn't used to, but I'm of the mentality that they do. They've learned now. They've been conditioned to look for people sitting in trees.
well, they're going to see movement. If they're 40
Sure.
yards away, your height relativity, even if you're 15 feet, isn't, it's not like they're looking straight up. So,
yeah.
they don't have to move much, and if you're
And our
moving
oily
around.
skin probably just is like
Shiny,
a
yeah.
reflector out there in the woods. You know?
Exactly.
So I definitely try to cover up for sure.
Yeah.
My face. I choose not the face paint, but I'll put the old mesh mask on because I want to be able to breathe and hear. I've got to be able to hear. And I don't like thick gloves either. It doesn't matter. It could be 1 degree out.
I'm wearing thin gloves. Absolutely.
Thin gloves, even some that have
Finger cutouts. Yep.
finger cutouts on my thumb and trigger finger, especially gun hunting, but even archery. And then I'll wear a hand muff to keep them warm that way. But I want to be able to feel everything I'm doing when it comes to
Sure.
the release or whatever it may be.
Same.
So, yeah, everybody's, kind of get in a groove and do your own thing. But, I don't know.
Where were we at? I derailed us with the snacks.
told
It's
me we
okay.
went to- I've
No,
been
it's all
thinking
right.
about
the
we're-
scent control, I think we were on
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah,
but
we talked about that.
was
Just kind of our
wondering-
gear list, but
I was wondering what you did for scent control. I mean, are you wash, clean, ozone, or
I don't get too crazy, but I think there's some validation to scent control. I think that any time you can try and put something to your advantage or at least be intentional or aware of what you're doing, it can help. So I'm not wearing hunting clothes and pumping gas. If I walk into a greasy Ma and Pa's diner, I mean, it happens, but if I do that, then I'll try to wash them afterwards. But I'll usually wash my hunting clothes once, maybe twice during the season, but usually once right before. I've got a big tote. It's not a special scent-free tote. It's like a Rubbermaid tote. But then I've got giant Ziploc bags that you can just roll your clothes up in and put them in them. But I'm not using the ozone stuff too much. And then I get a couple bottles of a scent elimination spray that I'll spray my feet and legs and pack. And a lot of people don't think about it, but your pack and bow especially. You don't think about your pack and bow, but you might as well spray them down.
And those are the things that sit in garages.
Yeah, garages
ball
and or in
cap.
the house. Yeah. So I'll spray my ball cap down in my boots pretty hard.
Yeah.
The rest of me, it's been in a tote, but yet it's still been on me, so I'll wear that. But one thing I like to wear that I think helps is I wear merino base layers. So waterfowl hunting, I like to wear synthetic base layers because, one, waterfowl hunting, you're either getting wet, your arms are getting wet, you're picking up decoys. So I'll wear synthetic base layers waterfowl hunting because they dry faster and still keep their warmth. But as far as deer hunting or big game hunting, for the scent factor, I wear merino base layers because they don't hold any of that bacteria. And Chandler, you know, from elk trips we've taken, you can hit some merino pretty hard for 3, 4, 7 days at a time, and it doesn't get rancid.
No, not too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just us getting used to it, though.
I think merino, it for big game hunting for me works, unless I'm out west, and then I'll wear synthetics. But just for whitetail hunting, I'll wear merino base layers and then layer on top of it. But scent sprays and washes, and then, of course, my body. For most of the season, I'll try and use scent, I guess, the green Hunter Specialties soap or Dead Downwind. But with limited time, it's not like I'm hunting every day or every 2 or 3 days. So I time it to where I know I'm going to get a couple, 3 or 4 showers in before I'm hunting, and then I'll start using it.
Yeah. What about specifically archery? Do you, I have in the past, do you ever bring an extra release?
I think do I carry an extra release?
I used to carry a couple because I've gotten out there before.
Yes, I keep
And
a
I forgot
handheld.
it.
I keep a handheld in my backpack, and then I usually keep a wrist strap in my backpack too. I don't keep any of it with a bow case. I always keep it in the backpack. So once hunting season starts, the release is always in the backpack, and an extra handheld is always in the backpack.
Yeah, once my backpack stays the way it is, the only thing that changes is the snacks or, whatever. But I build it for the season, and then it's done. So the flashlights are always in there, the floodlights, the release, I always have an extra ball cap or an extra hoodie, depending on what time of year it is. So everything stays in there, which makes it nice. So then you're not searching.
I've had an extra release save me because I started shooting a handheld for a while, a Stan's handheld, and I really liked the release. I still have it. But I was following Aaron over here. I had the bow up in the tree hanger, and the release was on the bow, and I bumped it with my shoulder, and the release fell to the floor because I had just the handheld release hanging from the D-loop.
Gotcha.
And well, luckily I did have I had a Carter like RX2 in the backpack, so I put that on, and nothing.
I'll
hurt.
even do that.
And then that's the last time I took Stan's hunting. And it's not the release's fault.
Sure.
I just know that if I put that RX2 wrist strap release on my wrist, it's not going anywhere, and I'm ready at all times. And it's a hook release to where I don't have to think about like finding the D loop. I can find the D loop with that RX2 without looking at the bow.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I know they make an RX1. I don't know if they make the RX2 still, but they're hook releases to where you can kind of like put your thumb on the D loop and then like replace the hook in the D loop, and you don't have to like a single caliper or a dual caliper release. You don't have to like look at the D loop and make sure you clip on and don't get stuck on something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my
bad.
rangefinder in there, my binos stay in there. I even do the extra, just some small screw-in hooks, some coated ones, just in case my bow hanger fell out or something, and I need to hang up something extra. Just orange tape and all that stuff. So, I mean, the list, I try not to get crazy because I'm doing, 1-day hunts, but 1-day pack,
I thought you said you were going to pack 3 days worth of food from now on.
Well, that would be an issue for me. With hunting coming up too, waterfowl and deer hunting alike, we were just talking earlier, like when we looked up like Missouri hunting, I feel like it's becoming harder to find public
Private.
private spots to go. If it's like leases, everybody's leasing out and
Outfitters, duck
and
clubs.
outfitters buying up, or leasing out property. And so, and I think there's this perception that, like, what were we talking about? Like the 20-acre public land spot. There's still lots of public land out there, although the number was weird from Missouri. So based off the two that we found, it's like 88 to 93% of all the land in Missouri is privately owned. So that leaves you, 7 to 10%, let's say, of public land, which you don't think's a lot. But there's still quite a bit out there. And Aaron brought up, I think some people might overlook a 20-acre public land spot. And I go, yeah, but if I told that same person, hey, would you like to own a 20-acre farm to hunt on? You'd be like, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this perception that these public spots are overrun, and there's,
Sure.
And I don't know if they are.
Especially
Especially if you creep out a little bit from the cities.
I wouldn't be
on some of the
afraid
Missouri
to
public
look.
lands.
And so that's a topic that gets brought up, and people always ask me too, like, hey, do you know of some spots to go?
Mm-hmm.
And same with waterfowl, which is probably, I would say, even a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, because you got to have
deer
water.
hunting, or crop fields or something, especially if you're doing late, food, feeding.
Sure.
Field hunting.
Because a lot of public land is just a chunk of timber, which that's not going to do you so much
you
good.
You can get into some great deer hunting. Now, each spot, I would tell everybody, each specific spot has its own rules and regulations, not just the MDC website itself, but then each location. Make sure you read those.
Yeah, get the book
and get the layout. But if you take the time and you got to do a lot more scouting because you can't use cameras in a lot of spots, trail cams. If you're doing stands, you've got to lock them and put your info. If you're doing a ground blind, a lot of them you have to take in with you and take out that day because they're not permanent.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put out mineral and food to see what's out there, but there's some great spots to hunt. I like what Missouri came out with. I use the Mo Outdoor app. So we do the Mo hunting. You can get all your tags. But if you're into fishing or hunting, you can do the Mo Outdoor and then click what you want to do, fishing or hunting. I click on hunting. I put in my location, and then I can look everywhere in Missouri, though, how far away and what's available and how big it is. And it gives you the map and the boundary and the rules and regulations for that spot.
And that's a lot of conservation ground. I know a lot of other states do like walk-in hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas has a lot of walk-in hunting. Nebraska has a lot of walk-in hunting. I don't think Missouri has a walk-in hunting type thing that I'm aware of, but there's a lot of places. If people can't relate as far as conservation ground, they can relate to walk-in hunting ground. Because I've had some decent turkey hunts on some walk-in hunting ground.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever deer hunted walk-in in any other state. It's all been private for deer hunting. But do you utilize quite a bit of public ground in waterfowl hunting, Josh?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That's primarily what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I like hunting public more than private because I get to play with all my cool toys.
Yeah.
It's hard to
you
drop.
you gotta get farther back. You gotta get to the better spot.
Oh yeah.
Do you scout out some of it before you even go, or have you went in blind before? And
I've done everything, man.
yeah. Does it and I know in Missouri and in Kansas too, but they'll tell you like if there's a boat ramp accessible, and so if you've got a waterfowl setup, you want to get out there and hunt by water and go in by boat, it tells you that too. So
for sure,
there's definitely, when you're packing for public land, so you take your boats to a lot of the places you go.
Yeah, kayak, layout boat, big boat. I mean, it really just depends on what I'm doing, or I'll pack a cart and carry it in with me. So,
and are you A-frame or layout blind mostly for most of your spots, or some homemade blind?
It just
putting up your
it
logs.
depends, man.
Yeah,
it
just
really
different.
does. it depends on the place and the wind and where I'm planning on setting up, how many people are coming with me.
Sure.
So I like to have options.
Right.
And like to be able to adapt and do things that I want to do. So over the years, I've accumulated a lot of different types of gear to help me in different situations.
Which there is a lot of options out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we like the, if you're the marsh seat guy, the new, that Rogers Elite mud seat.
Mm-hmm.
For a guy that's hunting marshes and has always sat on the marsh seat, no back, this one,
yeah, it's a mesh seat with the backrest.
With the backrest, which, over time, and probably like that.
Or there's the Invisiman, which is kind of the same concept. You can hunt in some water. And
there's definitely options for you out there. There's A-frames.
There's Rigerman's got a panel blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Momarsh Versa blind, which you can do land or water now. It's got extendable legs. I think it's like 36 inches, but so you can hunt, in the marsh, in the water. You can hunt on land.
How much is your strategy going to change this year with your dog as far as hunting?
Well, I'm probably not going to hunt her until about Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it's going to be very similar to years past, but she's going to tag along. We'll just have to adapt a little bit with whatever she needs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So next year you'll probably hunt her quite a bit, and then that'll be when you really have to.
Yeah. Well, I picked up the Momarsh boat this year because she wasn't going to fit in the kayak.
Oh, yeah.
And I've done a lot of kayak hunting in the past. I've kind of grown to really love layout boat hunting, and so had to find an option to bring the dog with me, and the Momarsh boat seemed to work pretty good. So I'm looking forward to using that with her and seeing how she does out of it. But
so it'll be you, her, and how many dozen decoys?
I don't know, 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot. I don't usually bring all that many. I mean, there was times last year when I was running 8 or 9 decoys in my set just because the birds were stale, and I wanted to bring some really nice decoys out, add a lot of motion, put them all on a jerk rig, add some pulsators, and seemed to work really well.
Route. The public land hunting for the whitetail side, something that's getting big is the saddle hunting. Mm-hmm. It just keeps growing. And so we got in tethered hawk. Now that we offer hawk, and then trophy line. So we've got you set up.
Because public land, you can't do screw-in steps. You can't bow hangers. You gotta know.
Yeah, everything's got to be non-evasive to where you're hunting, and not to get away from climbers. We've got those too, so lots of climbers. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the downfall of a climber on at least public land is the tree you want to go in's got limbs coming out.
You can't cut those.
You can't cut them off. With the saddle hunting, it allows you to do any type of tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we've got all these options of light sticks, and I'm getting used to working on the saddles. It's new to me too, but it's such a great option for public land hunters, and it's lightweight. There's no, I mean, you're
no more carrying a heavy 15-pound
your
stain.
saddle with, even if you got extra bags, you're like under 5 pounds for all of it. The sticks is different, depending on whether you get aluminum or steel sticks. And then one of the big thing that I'm learning is the platform in which you use, which there's different ones people use, but we offer, larger size platforms, which a lot of guys are trending towards. But we've got them all the way down to like Hawk makes the monkey bars, they call them, but they're like the little steps that just wrap around the tree.
Yep.
So it's super portable, lightweight. It's as light as you want to get it and make it.
And very versatile as far as, like you said, the trees you're looking for.
And you're wearing it in, and you just, wherever you want to go, you just find a spot and you're done. So there's definitely options out there for public land hunting. You talked about you can't screw in for like a bow hanger, and they make bow hangers that are, almost like a ratchet style strap. So there's options out there, but there's plenty of places to go.
And don't forget about Onyx. I know.
Yeah.
It's a really good feature for looking at public land and private land and figuring out where you want to go, what you want to do.
Josh, you use it quite a bit, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Now, do you use it for scouting, for finding pieces of ground, or once you're on the ground navigating, or all the above?
All the above. I mean, I use it during the off season trying to find different places to go explore. I'll use it to figure out where boat ramps are, because sometimes they have boat ramps marked. I'm planning a trip to go hunt the upper Mississippi over in Iowa at some point this year, and so I've been kind of perusing on X around that area to see what it's all about, see what it's going to look like, kind of get a good lay of the land. But yeah, even at night when you're navigating your boat, trying to get to your spot, it'll track you the whole way. But one of my favorite things to do with it for waterfowl is I'll look at boat ramps and use the line distance tool and figure out which boat ramp gets me to my spot with the least distance. So,
and you can take that same thing in like deer hunting public ground. You can, I've have this place that public hunted deer, and there's like 2 entrances, and you could, depending on where you want to go, you kind of need to like map. They're kind of on both sides, you know. So you kind of got to figure out what, you know, you could use OnX and map out. Okay, if I go to this side, I'm only this far away, or if I go to this side, it's closer or whatnot.
And sometimes it could get confusing because the way the public lands lay it out, there might be some private land intertwined with it. And so it'll show you kind of where the boundaries are. And, hey, am I going to cross, you know, to get right there, you know, maybe only 30 yards, but there's a little sliver here that someone privately owns. And so you can, you know, whether you need to contact them and ask for permission to cross, or you need to find another route around, and, you know, keeps you, the tools are out there to see what's going on. The biggest thing with public land, I would say, is each area has its own independent, which I found out, you know, their own special rules. It might be doe only, or it might be
buck only,
or it might be archery only, or no rifle, or the spot that I used to go 10 years ago, when me and my dad first started hunting it, we could hunt rifle. And then when I went back the next year, it had changed. I mean, it changes constantly, and now it's only muzzleloader or archery, you know, so it's ever changing too. But so always look into that. But there's some great opportunities out there in all the states. So I thought Kansas, it was interesting, the percentage of private to public. It was,
I think it's like 2% public.
It was 2%, like 1.9 or something. It was crazy.
And Texas was low too. Yeah.
So there's some states that there's not a lot of opportunity.
You see the vast land, but it must all be privately owned farmland, like out in Kansas. All this land is owned already.
Yeah, so I feel like Missouri's got plenty.
It does.
You might say it's only.
I know 10, I say 10%, and it seems low. But
you tell me like 20 minutes you need to be on public ground hunting, and I could be like, I could be there. Right, I know where I'm going. You know. Yeah,
I mean, 5 minutes from here, I think we can be.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So
exactly.
Yeah, really. It's 11 minutes from here to there.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah. Is there a piece of gear that you're excited about that you're adding this year?
Yeah, I alluded to it some, but I'm adding a saddle to my arsenal. Okay. And yes, I've got some private land I hunt on, but I'm adding it because it gives me the opportunity to move sets without buying a whole nother stand or taking down a stand mid-season
and moving it.
Which
I have done, but it's kind of a hassle. Whereas if you had a saddle, you just...
I talked about my road stand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need a stand there. So I go and buy one and I get it put up. Well, now if I'm not using it right then, I'm like, hey, I need to be 50 yards that way. That's I'm too far one way or the other. Go grab the saddle out of the truck.
Yeah.
And I'm on my way.
Saddle and sticks are small
so
enough.
I'm super stoked about it.
Mm-hmm. Chandler, what are you adding this year?
I don't know. I need to think about that for a second. I haven't really purchased any major things yet. I mean, I did get a kayak.
Okay.
And it's a multi-purpose kayak because I've been down to Fork fishing with it this year already, catching some big fish on it, which was quite a blast. I didn't realize on a bass boat you can actually control the fish when you're fighting them a little bit better. You know, put your rod in the water. You know, move your body around. You know, on a kayak you're at the fish's you're at the fish's will. Whatever the fish wants to do, you're doing it. Especially when you get a big enough fish.
Yeah.
I think I caught 7-something pound largemouth, and it took me all over the place.
For a ride.
Jumped like 6 times, and normally I don't let a fish jump at all. Usually I try to bulldog them down when they try to come up, but I couldn't do that on the kayak. Anyways, probably this month, next few weeks, I'm going to have my kayak outfitted with a Goosebuster XL on top of it, which will be interesting. I'm going to modify it, and then I'll be a little kayak layout boat, and that'll be something fun for this waterfowl season. So I can go to places. And I also, this kayak I bought, it's a new canoe, Frontier 12. I bought it because I'm going to take it deer hunting too. It's it can get me onto some landlocked, well, not really landlocked. It can get me to some deer hunting spots that no one goes to because it's like a 4-mile walk-in on public ground. And unless you're like slip hunting or you're on the ground hunting, I've tried to do it. Even carrying a hang-on or a climber back there is just a lot of weight when you have to go that far back.
Sure. And
so this kayak gives me the ability to use a waterway and not expend any effort. Just it's I'll have to get nav lights on it, and it's bad. I got a trolling motor on it. It's super quiet, and the trolling motor moves it really well, and I can just slip up into there. And this kayak is proven, and people have hauled deer out in it. It's got the rating for it, so I can slip up in there with a tree stand and a bow, jump up and find the tree that I want to hunt in and that type of thing, and then I can get out of there. And really, I'm not really being invasive either, crashing through the woods from whatever way I'm coming in, and I might be able to use the wind better that way too. So that's kind of my exploration this year.
I like that.
Josh, anything you're adding for waterfowl hunting in particular that, other than I guess the layout boat, that's kind of new?
The layout boat, yeah.
That's been your summer project?
That's been the summer project, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hunt out of it.
Which people can watch on your channel how you've outfitted it all summer long.
Yeah, I think it's like a 14 video series on building this into the ultimate duck boat.
Yeah, you got probably one more build. I think you're going to grass it up coming up sometime, and then teal season's around the corner.
It'll be fun. I can't think of anything else really. Any big ticket gear items.
What was the name that your followers named the?
Oh, it's the Quacker Stacker.
Quacker Stacker. Okay.
Quacker
I think we talked about that last time we
Yeah,
were all together.
Yeah.
They've
on the
named
podcast.
several of your boats.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I had a final attack, they named it the Final Quack.
Josh, we forgot to talk about what you're wearing right now.
Oh. Yeah, I'm real excited about this one.
Yeah.
So we're talking about early season gear, and we jumped from Elite Chill, which is like a polyester lightweight piece, UPF 50, or the Tough Light, which is a 4-way stretch polyester pant. We went straight from that to like a tech hoodie, but in between there is our, I think it's the Rogers Elite Heavy Grid hoodie, and then that's what he's got on right now. So that's going to be in probably when this podcast is coming out or very soon after.
It's a half zip, thumb holes in the arms, hood.
Yeah, it's a grid piece. It's not very
Napoleon
heavy, but it's
pocket.
got some warmth to its weight ratio.
Yes.
He is playing with
Cell
the
phone
zipper
pocket,
there.
Yeah.
You can hear the quality.
Yes.
But it's that perfect like starting layer or like early season layer that adds just a little bit of warmth, but it's not too hot. It's a half zip. You can dump heat. It's got a hood.
It's in a very dull brown color.
And we offer it in multiple camo
Yes.
patterns with Max 7 and bottom lane. And then I'm set up country DNA.
There you go.
So it is a deer piece. It is a duck piece. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in, I'm hoping this week, but
Yeah.
very soon. So that's a pretty sweet piece. Josh is excited for it.
I'm going to live in this thing.
I know. I think you're buying like 6 of them or something.
Yeah.
One for every day of the week besides Sunday.
Hey, we
Yes.
talked about how frequently we wash things, so maybe that'll help with the stank.
Right.
Yes.
I am gonna add the Elite Chill hoodie
The lightweight.
and the lightweight hoodie.
Yeah.
Which we talk about it in the hunting aspect. It's great for fishing too.
Oh yeah, well,
with the
we
UPF
make,
factor.
Yeah, we make it a solid, and it's a fishing top, so it's
Right.
It's just super lightweight. It protects you from the sun,
so the fish can't see you.
Yeah, the fish can't see you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So we're just saying you could add it to your fishing arsenal.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah. Boy.
One thing I would like to add at some point is the closet version of the
scent crusher.
Like a scent crusher type.
If you got the designated
just to
space
have
for
it for like, in my game room or wherever I'm getting set up. Just because then you can hang everything. It's really nice. You can put a lot of gear in there.
I'm a tote guy.
Same.
And I
want to give it a quick bath.
Yeah, I use ozone sometimes. I used to have the scent crusher bag. I still have the scent crusher machine, the ozone machine.
Mm-hmm.
But
yep.
I'm do the best I can on scent, and then play the wind.
Yeah,
even better.
Play the wind. That's exactly right.
And if something does happen, and if you've done all that stuff with your scent, you're probably smelling like you're a mile away, but you could be 100 yards away or something like that. Where like you just getting rid of as much of that human scent as possible. It might not spook them.
Yeah.
To where if they really get wind of you, they're going to be blowing you out of there.
Yeah.
And there's certain times of the year where it seems deer to defy odds, where they come in from straight downwind and you haven't scent showered, or there's stories of your friend, your grandpa, your uncle smoking cigarettes and then shooting a monster deer. There's just sometimes that you can't explain it.
Right.
So
yeah. Are you adding anything this year?
I added one of those Millennium buck huts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What's that? Is that a solid blind?
It's a
fiberglass?
soft-sided.
Soft-sided.
But it's an 8-foot metal stand, a steel stand, 8-foot. It's got a 7-foot framed soft-sided blind and a floor mat. It's got a ladder. Mm-hmm. So what I was going to do is we was going to buy several just regular pop-up blinds and build some wooden platforms. Well, by the time you price out lumber right now, which is still ridiculous, and then the hardware, and then you factor in time to build it, by the time you factor in a ground blind, the lumber, and the materials, it really wasn't much more at all to get this. And so, you figure you're going to do some 4x4s, and your platform, you might drop it down a little bit. It might not put it right at 8 feet, but, the brackets and everything, it really wasn't much more. And it's a steel stand that, one, you just take that soft cover off after hunting season.
And the frame of where the blind goes on, it's steel framed. I mean, it's solid.
Not going to collapse
and
or
it's
anything.
A thick canvas style, almost like a wall tank. You can see in the back country.
Exactly, and it's got sides and then a separate roof. So if anything happens to the roof, you can replace that or the sides. But I thought, man, that's going to be easier and cheaper to replace than if something happens to a pop-up blind and gets ripped or torn or destroyed. So
and it'll fit 2 people.
Yeah, it's 7 feet tall, and it'll fit about 2 people. Sure,
2 people.
Bunch of window options. That
I was going to say does
magnetic,
it have horizontal and vertical windows, so bow and gun.
They're mostly all vertical.
All vertical.
Yes, but you can adjust them down with magnets where you want them to open. Each window has like a shooting rest.
Okay.
So I've got a food plot that I'm going to get planted here in the next week or two, and it's going to sit back off the food plot probably 15 yards, and then I'll probably put it about 3 or 4 yards into the timber, just so it's not right over the top of it, but it's just back in the timber a little bit, cut some shooting lanes. And
that is a great option, especially if you've always wanted to get into a tower blind. Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenal tower blind they came out with by Millennium. It's called the Buck Hut.
Yeah, Q200. It's the bigger version. They've got like a smaller one-person version, but this is 2, which allows me to take some new hunters. I'm going to have the opportunity to take some new hunters this year. So I took a new person turkey hunting this year, and so it's just it allows for some more options. So I mean, I love ladder stands, but they're not exactly easy to put up. Or if you're taking someone new, a ladder stand is not necessarily comfortable, but a blind allows them to move around, be a little bit warmer. Mm-hmm. So I love ground blinds too, but I figured I'm going to try this. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a shot and see how it goes.
Yep. We've had some good feedback on those.
Everything I've heard
people
about
like
them is
'em,
great. So yeah.
No, that's a great
Yeah,
option.
Millennium makes a good tree stand product.
Oh, yeah, they-
whatever it is.
Yes, I thought they've done really well. On
There's
all
been
their-
several. I don't. Is it the 150 that's got like the big platform with the footrest?
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah.
are hard to stay awake in. I can attest. I sat in one all day one time, and it was a struggle to stay awake. So their stands are very comfortable.
I'll hook my arms underneath the
Yep.
loops. And
Exactly.
I'm out. Just-
Exactly, because you got the footrest that leans back
leans
just
back.
right in that
Yeah,
mesh
just
seat.
a little bit.
That's a huge platform too.
It
Yes.
Like the
is
M100's nice, and the
Yeah, the
M150 is just
M150
giant.
monster is.
Oh.
It's a monster.
Yeah, you put your arms in there,
Yeah,
you're back and you're out.
it is. It's a nice, comfortable stand.
So
It is, and you don't get that. You've seen a lot of stand companies move to the mesh style stuff, but I prefer it. One, they last forever.
yeah, squirrels don't chew them up.
I've had an M25 hang on up for almost 8 years now, which I don't know if it should still be up there, but the stand itself, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, as long
The
as you're
seat's
checking
perfect.
straps and stands and bolts and
But,
everything,
yeah, you don't get the cushions that always get eaten and
blow away.
blow away, or you end up sitting on a steel seat by the end of the year because the cushion,
Gone.
got tore up or something. So
Which I've been
these
down that
mesh
road.
seats are super comfortable
Yeah.
and they last a long time.
When your
So,
foam seat's gone and you didn't come prepared,
yeah,
yeah, that metal grate feels amazing.
yeah. After about 4 or 5 hours sit, you love that stand.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about?
Patrick brought something up right before we started this, but if you don't have a tree stand harness, get a tree stand harness.
Oh yeah,
We had Patrick's got a video of
a former
our
employee.
former coworker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a tree stand. He could have been in an M25 that was 5 years old, like you're talking about. And for some reason, the welds and everything busted on the platform, and it just
Right.
like a secret door,
Yeah, trap door.
trap door
The
heading straight down.
Number one thing to have.
Yeah,
You've
exactly.
gotta have a harness.
Because I think most accidents come from going from the ladder to
It's
the
up and
stand or
down.
a stand failure. But
Yeah, he's a
Yep.
funny kid. He sends us a video hanging from the tree.
Hanging from the tree once he realized he
was
was still
good.
alive.
yeah,
But it happens. It happened to, the former Royals manager.
Yep.
Ned
Ned
Yost. That
Yost.
was the story. And luckily he had his phone. It landed with him and he was able to call someone, or he probably would have passed there.
didn't
at
it
the
happen?
stand 'cause
Did the stand break, or was it when he was going
he
from
was
the ladder?
climbing up, which is going to bring me to another product. He had his harness on. He's climbing up the ladder, and it gave way before he could click into his.
Oh yeah, lifeline.
tether.
Like, yeah,
But a lifeline
You're always connected.
always connected up and down. It's
Just
such a great product.
it's a good rope with a pre-6 knot
Uh-huh.
going up, so that's able to slide up and down as you climb. The moment
Yeah.
you fall and you pull on the pre-6 knot, it
Yeah.
tightens around and you're
Mm-hmm.
good.
So you're connected from the time you leave the ground, and then you leave it. And that's your.
Sure.
That's your.
That's one of the reasons too. I've switched
Strap.
to either all ladder stands or blinds of some form, because a ladder stand, as long as you're replacing those straps every year or checking them, make sure you loosen them. A ladder stand's not going to just give out. It's got a ladder that's on the ground and a stand that's on the tree, so it's not going to just drop you. No, you should still wear a safety
So
harness.
always,
Don't get me
yeah,
wrong.
Always have a
Yeah.
safety harness.
But yeah,
on.
it's not gonna.
I heard falling in those doesn't feel well.
In what?
In the tree stand harness.
Oh no.
Yeah, so even if
Yeah.
suit up, put your harness on.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'd rather have
for
some
sure.
bruises and scrapes than broken
Yeah.
arms, legs, neck,
Yeah.
or dead. So
Right. No, I'm with you. And we've got lots to choose from. So
yeah, safety first.
from young kids to adults. Yep. Even women specific ones. So
I've got another piece that's important. Life jacket.
Oh
If you're a waterfowl hunter.
yes. Or some sort of PFD.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
just wear
Yeah.
the dang thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Especially in the morning when it's dark and you don't know what's going on.
Especially if you're on the river.
Yeah.
That's scary.
There was one day I was just out putzing around with a new boat. This was like in August or something. And I was going up the river and I high centered my little beaver tail layout boat on a log or a stump that I couldn't see. That was the most terrifying moment of my life. But yeah, no, always wear your life jacket. It's very important. It's super easy. They've got good, comfortable ones out there. find one that you like and always have it with you.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I think
Safety.
we even sell camo ones.
Yep.
Safety first and everything. Yep.
Yeah. And don't burn down your pizza box and the
Yeah.
and the A-frame
No,
on a burner.
take the pizza out of the box.
Of the box.
Yes.
No, it's good stuff.
All right. Whitetail Weekend this
Whitetail
weekend.
Weekend.
Yep.
Yep.
We've been talking about deer and scent. We have all the scent stuff you can
Yep.
want.
Yep.
And clothing.
Stop on in.
Oh, yeah. And all that.
And
pizza.
just come up and say hi to me and tell me your stories. I love it. This is an exciting time of year.
Yes, it
So-
is.
Go ask Pat about the
Yep.
the chill
Yep. I'll show 'em to
hoodie,
you.
long sleeve
Yep.
T-shirt, whatever.
They're there.
If you
got
want to
the-
get out and chase that velvet
Everything
buck.
we've talked about, we've got in stock. So,
Besides
on
the
the-
gray hoodie.
yep, I got the Elite Mud Seat, the buck cut, to life jackets, to harnesses, everything.
Mhm.
So
All the scent elimination.
it's
you could
time. Don't
ever
wait
buy.
till the night before.
Do we got white oak acorn scent wafers?
We didn't talk about that until you just brought it up.
I'm kidding. We were talking about the scent wafers.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
do
pine.
have wafers,
All right.
but we've got you covered. So, yep, it'll be exciting. August 20th. Make sure you're there.
I get all
Bring
excited
up your mounts
just talking about all the seasons that are coming up in just a
Oh,
matter
yeah.
of weeks.
Cool
know.
mornings.
for sure.
All right. Is that a wrap?
Josh, come back and let us know how those hootards were up
Yes, in North
Yep.
Dakota.
in North Dakota.
We'll give it a go. 15 bird limit.
15 birds.
What?
Yeah. At least that's what they told me. I'll have to double check.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
That's what they told me.
But yeah.
Yep.
Famous
I
last
believe it.
words.
Let us know.
Your smoker's going to be cruising for the next little bit.
I'll bring you some jerky.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes. Free of shot, though, please. Thank you.
Hey, I'll do my best.
He's got to look at a checker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bismuth is a little softer.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
that's good stuff. Yeah, let us know how it goes. It'll be a good time for you.
All right, that's a wrap.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you did, go ahead and give us a subscribe. That way you're going to get a notification every time we put out a new podcast. Chandler, what else should they do?
Go to our social media pages and give us a like on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Get us subscribed to YouTube channel. We do product reviews there. And then giveaways is a great part of our social media as well.
And then we just want to thank you guys for what you guys do and support us so we can do stuff like this. So thank you.